10 years of painstaking research, 2 days from an AI research partner. Same scientific answer arrived at almost 20 times faster than any lab alone. That is not a magic trick, and it is not a one-off fluke either. It is a new kind of research machine that can search, argue, and suggest the next experiment before a human scientist has finished breakfast. The real question is tougher than a clever demo. Can faster ideas actually become medicine for a real patient in a real hospital? Stay for the honest answer, and the one missing checkpoint nobody has cleared yet. First, the proof that this multiplier can actually work, a 50-year biology bottleneck that stumped entire careers, turned by AI into something closer to a lookup problem. Proteins are tiny machines. Their shape helps decide what they do. Scientists had to work out those shapes slowly, often through years of lab work. AlphaFold changed the starting point. It can propose a structure in hours. That does not replace the lab. It means the lab starts with a map instead of a blank page. The result was not kept in a locked drawer. EMBL says the database holds 200 million predicted structures. It reports 2 million users across 190 countries. The older experimental archive held almost 200,000 structures. That scale changes who gets to ask a biological question. The Nobel recognition matters less as a trophy than as a receipt. AI crossed from clever demo to tool other scientists could use. The market lesson is simple, useful. AI does not need to finish every job. It needs to remove the slowest step. Now comes the stranger leap, an AI that does not just predict a shape. It reads the literature, debates a hypothesis, and proposes a scientist's next move. Think of a research partner with perfect stamina, not perfect judgment. It reads the available literature. It builds competing explanations. Then it attacks its own ideas and proposes tests. That is useful because science is often a traffic jam of possible explanations. The AI can sort that traffic before a human team spends months driving down the wrong street. Jose Penades and colleagues spent 10 years studying how some superbugs gain antibiotic resistance. They gave the AI the question while their result was still unpublished. In 2 days, it reached their answer. Penades was so stunned that he contacted Google, asking whether the system had seen his work. Google said it had not. A second reaction is important because one dramatic story is not a measurement. Stanford's Gary Peltz described the system as a conversation with someone who knows more. That is the useful frame. The value is not an oracle. It is more intelligent disagreement, arriving before the experiment bill does. The business bet here is obvious enough. The proof is harder to get. Can this same discovery speed survive the long, expensive trip from a clever idea to an approved medicine? That is the wager behind Isomorphic Labs, a DeepMind spinout pursuing drug design. Its stated ambition is to solve all disease. This is where Alphabet's AI story stops being a software feature and becomes a patient, regulation, and manufacturing problem. A structure prediction can narrow choices. A medicine must survive every gate after that. Here is the crack in the rise story. The first human trial is now described for the end of 2026. Forbes reported that timing is a full year later than an earlier target. A slipped clock is not a failure of science. It is a reminder that biology does not accept a software-style release date. That gap is the investment question. AI may make the front of discovery cheaper and faster. It cannot vote on safety, recruit a trial, or prove a benefit in a body. So the multiplier is real, while the payoff remains conditional. Faster discovery is an input. A cure is an outcome. Now the correction this story needs: the same machine that speeds up real research can also manufacture convincing nonsense if nobody is checking its work against reality. Fortune reported fabricated references rising more than 12-fold in biomedical papers over 3 years. One estimate moved from one paper in 2828 to one in 458. These are not harmless typos. A fake citation can point a researcher toward a dead end with a very professional-looking signpost. That is why AlphaFold and the superbug case matter. Their claims meet something the fake citations do not: contact with reality. Structures can be checked. Experiments can fail. Other scientists can push back. Verification is the actual multiplier, because it tells a fast answer from a fast mistake. So, has AI turned discovery speed into a cure for a patient? Not yet. The confirmed success is narrower and more valuable. It can shrink the search for a good scientific question by years. The next proof sits on a visible clock at the end of 2026. Until then, watch the checks, not the slogans. The real AI trade may not be a faster cure at all. It may be better questions, tested faster than any single lab could manage alone. For the market side of that same AI build-out, watch the channel's documentary on MU next.